Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on Coast Life. We're your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo. Paige, did you have a good weekend?
I did. Had to drive through some bad weather yesterday.
Yeah.
Hopefully you weren't in the same boat as I was. Hopefully you weren't in an actual boat. Because, the wind and the rain. That was bad. It's Monday. Cut me some slack.
Ouch. Fair enough.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, we went up to Longwood Gardens.
Beautiful.
To go see all the big lights. I mean, we've got so many light displays down here on Delmarva to see. Been there, done that.
Yep.
So we did just a little extra leg because that's like up around, my family lives close to that. So.
Good. I mean, you really only have a month to get all the light shows in and everything
you want
to do.
And it gets stressful. And especially I was gone the first week of December. So you don't realize how much of your holiday shopping time that eats up until you get back. And you're like, oh my God, it's over. I have no time.
Crazy. And even at our house, we haven't put up all of our outdoor lights yet. And we kept being like, we'll do it this weekend. I think we're just skipping outdoor lights this year.
I had so many plans.
Yeah.
So many plans for this year. I'm like, I want to do holiday cards. I want to do outdoor lights. I want to wreath. I haven't done any of those. It's not happening for 2023.
Well, people make fun of me for starting my holiday shopping and holiday preparing in October or early November, but it's like, you kind of have to. You have to block off your weekends for your Secret Santas and your light shows and all of that. It takes a long time.
It does take a
And I think we'd all be a little less stressed and a little happier if we started a little earlier. It won't kill you to try. Right, thank you. We'll try again next year. I'll be here with you and guide you through again.
But maybe you've done some traveling for your holiday season, or maybe you're going to do some traveling for your holiday season. Does this sound familiar? It's about half an hour before you're supposed to start lining up at your gate, and all of a sudden you start seeing people form that line, and you're like, what group are they in? Are they in group 1? Because they call group 1 first. I'm in group 8. Should I get up there? Should I line up? Well, they're calling that gate lice.
That's
and when
hilarious.
I say they, I mean employees at the airport call those people gate lice.
They're calling you gate lice.
Nasty.
What are we going to do about it?
But it's true though, and I was stressing hard about that because I just went traveling at the airport, and I am that person. I'm like, well, my thing says group 8, so I have to wait till they call group 8. But then you see way too many people lined up at the gate to all be group 1, and you're like, wait, what group are they? And then people are like, I don't care, just get up there. And they say it's sort of the, it really is kind of the sheeple effect, and just one person being a little selfish and being like, well, I'm just gonna get up there anyway. And I'm like, I get it if you've got kids and you're trying to just be prepared, but you're also in the way. That line gets in the way immediately.
I am one of those that will sit back because it's not like an amusement park ride where it's like the sooner you get up, we're all gonna make it on the plane.
Yes.
I will. This was embarrassing though. When we went to Mexico recently, we were traveling with friends, and we were just up talking in line, and we're chatting, and they called the group, and our friends got up, and so we just kind of chatting, got up with them. We're all in line, and then my fiance and I got to the front, and the guy goes, "This is group 2, you're group 3," and we're like, we didn't even realize. We kind of just mindlessly walked up with our friends who were group 2, and we're like, oh, shoot, sorry, our bad, and they kicked us out.
Really?
Yeah, and I've seen it before happen where you go to the front and they're like, whatever, just go through.
That's what I've seen, yeah.
We were embarrassed.
And I get it when and I think the panic sets in when they make the announcement, and they're like, this is for flight number 3256. We've overbooked your flight today, so we may be asking members in the later boarding groups to book another flight. And that's when people are like, oh my God, I gotta get on the plane.
I still don't understand how you can overbook a plane though.
That's kind of my question, where I'm like, okay, well then don't do that. But I see that when that announcement is made is when everybody's like, oh, I gotta get in line. And then you've got the Titanic situation, and everybody's trying to get on the lifeboat before the person behind them. I think knowing now that people are calling it gate lice is effective and grossing me out, and I don't want to do it.
It's like when we were talking about bed rot.
Yeah, you're right, bed rot.
Instead of calling it I don't know, me time or chilling in my bed. It's bed rot makes you not want to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, we're talking about the Christmas season and getting ready for it and everything. Have you finished your shopping?
No.
I know, aren't we terrible? Have you finished your shopping for your boyfriend and your dad?
No.
Okay. So you're definitely not alone.
I know.
But apparently, and I think we can all agree on this, I don't even need to see the statistics, shopping for the men in your life is one of the hardest things.
And here's the thing, I'm usually really good at it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know, not my dad. Dads are impossible to shop for, because here's the thing, my dad buys not only everything he needs when he needs it, but he buys everything that he anticipates that he might need. And so then he's got 3 extra Amazon Alexas laying around, and you're like, why? And then he'll be like, well, what if somebody needs one? And so like I call that the dad store.
Yeah.
And so like when I'm like, hey dad, by chance, do you have any? And he'll be like, as a matter of fact, I do.
They
and like
always
when he
do.
doesn't, then I'm like, the dad store is out of stock? No.
They always are prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he is always prepared. So he's hard to shop for because of that.
But if you Google, if you search on maybe Pinterest or just in your search bar, men's gifts, what tends to come up? It's like hammers that say best dad in the world. And how many times can we recommend shaving kits for boyfriends and colognes for boyfriends? It's like, I want something different. I wish I could share with you what I got my fiance. I think I did a good job this year, but it's just so hard to shop for men.
So I can share what I've done in years past.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like my man likes working on cars.
Nice.
Like he is a mechanic type. And I got him these, I'm a terrible flashlight holder.
I love this.
Just ask my dad. I've been yelled at for 30 years holding the flashlight. Because I like to see what you're working on, so I hold it so that I can see rather than the person who actually is doing the project.
Fair.
And it stresses me out. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just take myself out of this equation? And I got him these gloves that have like lights on the fingers, and I thought like that was a cool gift. I think he's just misplaced them, but I have yet to see them in action. But I think that would be a good gift. If you do have a man that plays like board games or stuff like that, like there are crafts that you can find that sort of incorporate those interests. Like that's usually where I kind of start.
You know where else I like to do actually is go on their Twitter or their X, go on their X account or their Instagram, really anything, and look at their likes. I've done that a few times. That's how I found out Jonathan wanted this Nike jacket one year. Is he favorited a Nike tweet about a jacket. So try that actually. See, I have some good ideas.
You do have good
Thank
ideas.
you.
There you go. We're here to help.
Yep. But yeah, again, if you're shopping for a man, you are not alone. It is hard out here.
And switching gears just a little bit, I think we live in a society that's so perfectionist all the time. And then I feel like it makes us afraid to try new things and try new skills. And so if you don't immediately, and I know I am so guilty of this, if I'm not immediately good at something, I'm like, well, I hate it. I'm bad at it. So what's something that maybe you're mediocre at, but you love to do it?
Sing.
Yay! I think
love
everybody
singing.
should love singing.
I love singing, but I will not sing in front of people.
The good, the bad, the ugly. If you got a song in your heart, I love to hear it.
And what about you?
Well, I mean, honestly, all things considered, I am mediocre at painting and drawing. Like,
No, you're
I am
not.
not a great artist by any means. I am middle of the road, but I love doing it.
Yeah, it's like Picasso. Like, I can't paint. Or
I-
Adele, I can't sing. It's
But
like,
I can't. Like, it's
yes,
not.
you can. Cue what she drew me. I know this isn't a painting. Cue what Leah drew me for my birthday. That's
Okay,
right.
cartoons are one thing.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, let us know what you're mediocre at, but you just love to do.
I love doing it.
Yeah.
But we've got a great show headed your way. Maya Henry is going to tell us what's coming up on Coast Life.
Coming up today on Coast Life, need an afternoon pick-me-up? We have a local business bringing you the best coffee. And looking for some stylish gifts to put in your holiday stocking? Leah's taking you to a shop with the ultimate surf gear. And do you love your local community? Because Milford has a special edition that you don't want to miss. All that and more when Coast Life gets back.
Coast Life is brought to you by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
You're watching Coast Life, and we love our first responders. And today I have the honor of speaking with Tim Maloney from Milford Police Department. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So we are currently standing in the new building.
Correct.
Tell us about it.
So this building was a dream probably for the last decade for the police department. It started with 2 chiefs ago. Chief Keith Hudson, he had initially dreamed about having a new building, and then for some reason or another it was kind of put to the side. But then the next chief, Chief Kenneth Brown, when he came in to that position in 2016, he started to lay the groundwork for this new building, and it kind of took some traction in like probably 2018 and 2019, which led to us preparing for like public forums and interviews with members of our the city and stuff like that. And then it kind of came to fruition when we started to do public comments in early 2020, but then obviously with COVID-19, the referendum kind of got put on pause until we kind of got to a place where COVID was a little bit more manageable. And then it went to actual referendum in the beginning of like 2021 and was passed by our residents here.
Wow, so the first one was built in 1978, correct?
Yes, around that time frame, yes.
So what are some differences that you see from the old building to this one?
So the initial building, I can't remember off the top of my head, it was probably slated to hold maybe like 20 to 25 officers operating out of it. To now we're an authorized force of 37. That's just sworn officers. That doesn't account our civilian staff, where we have 2 full-time dispatchers working at all times. We have secretaries, maintenance personnel, things of that nature. So right now we're probably at a staff of upwards of 50.
Nice.
So over there we just have outgrown our building, and there's a lot of downfalls. They've made it somewhat ADA compliant, at least our main level, but we have a basement area that is only accessible through stairs right now. That has like our locker rooms, that has a classroom down there which we can hold meetings and stuff in. But overall, that building from when it opened in 1978 was laid out a certain way, and over time it just had to change with the time. So like what might have originally been an interview room might be in an office now.
Oh, wow.
Or what might have been a holding area has turned into something else.
So this is great. So tell me what this means for you in particular.
This space allows us to do our jobs more efficiently. It gives us space where we don't have to fight over the one interview room we have. If we have to interview a witness or a victim or a suspect, here we have 6 interview rooms that, officers can use. The level of security over here is definitely an advantage, where our whole rear parking lot will be fenced in and will be gate accessed. And then we have where we can have like a secured area there if we have to bring in a suspect or, a prisoner that's under detention. We have a safe area where we can do that to add protection to the officer as well as the person we're bringing in. So those types of features we just don't have over in our current building, where it's just an open parking lot, it's not fenced. The room we're actually standing in is a community room, which, as I stated before, we have a classroom over there, which is just antiquated, it's older. It's not accessible to every member of the public. But this one here, it's right off our lobby. It holds approximately 60 people at the moment, but our civic organizations and community groups such as like neighborhood watches and HOAs, they can call in to see if they could reserve the room and and be able to use that to hold meetings and stuff. And it's in a safe environment. It's here at the police department. We have ample parking, and it's a nice space for our community to work in and use.
I like that, how it's not just efficient for you guys, but for the community as well.
Correct.
So thank you so much, Tim, for speaking with us. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited for these tours.
Yes, I know. We are excited. It's nice to be able to finally show off what people have seen from the outside. They can come inside, they can see, the changes that we have made. So
yeah, and a huge shout out to all the first responders all across Delmarva. We highly appreciate you. But guys, we have so much more fun coming up right after the break.
Well, we've been telling you guys pretty often it's the most wonderful time of year. It's a time of celebration and happiness, but for a lot of people in our whole country, but of course here on Delmarva as well, it can be a time of sadness, a time of feeling lonely, and actually a time of struggle. To explain a little bit more of that and have ways that you can help out, I'm so excited to introduce you to Emily Knock with the American Legion Auxiliary Post 166. Emily, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me here.
Of course, it's such an amazing cause and a very important cause that you're talking about today, because we're talking about veteran suicide. It is something that happens way too much in our country. I mean, one time is too much. But unfortunately, those stats are pretty shocking. Emily, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so veterans are automatically at a 57% higher chance of suicide than someone who is not served. The statistics, it used to be as high as 22 veterans a day that were committing suicide.
Wow.
Luckily, we're down a little bit from that, but it's still way too many. Suicide is actually the second leading cause of death for veterans under the age of 45 in this country.
Oh my gosh, I never knew that. That's heartbreaking. And you would think, like I mentioned earlier, that this time of year is really exciting for a lot of people, but can you explain to us how the holiday season and the new year feels to some veterans who are going through this?
Well, I think for some people, the holidays are a magical time of year, but if you're already feeling alone, they can make you feel a lot lonelier too. A lot of times when veterans are coming back and they're adjusting to normal life, they don't feel like people can relate. And for us civilians that haven't served, it is a lot harder to understand what they went through there. So I think just kind of the happiness of the time can make you feel somewhat sadder when you're already feeling alone.
Definitely. And you're right. Those of us who haven't served, we cannot relate, but we can try to help, definitely. And I'm really excited that you guys have something that you're doing to help out. Tell us a little bit about this event coming up in the new year.
Yeah, so it's the second year that we've run this event. It's called Putting for a Cause. We do it through the American Legion down in Ocean City. 100% of the benefits go to benefit Stop Soldier Suicide, which is an organization founded by veterans, run by veterans to help veterans and servicemen. Basically, they want to lower the suicide rate by 40% is their goal. So the event takes place on January 20th. We visit 9 local establishments in Ocean City. They all build their own mini golf style hole.
Wow.
And teams of 4 go and play the holes, and we have a big after party afterwards and award the best teams.
That is so much fun. I love that you're giving just a really fun event. Of course, it's a terrible thing that we're talking about, but you're really making this event to help it fun and interactive. So how can people sign up? I know that they're going to be excited to donate to this cause, but also play some mini golf.
Yeah, so if you visit our website, which is alamd166.org, you can sign up there, or you can visit us on Facebook as well. It's Synnepuxent Unit 166, and you can sign up right online, or you can stop by the post in Ocean City.
Perfect. Is this something people should do ASAP, or are you going to fill up, or can they take their time?
Yes, I think we will definitely fill up.
Okay.
The first year having this, we thought it was going to be just a small little fundraiser, and we had 52 teams in the first year.
Wow.
So it was really a huge success, and we're very excited about it.
That's incredible. And can you tell us a little bit more too, if you don't mind, once people sign up, where their money is going? Of course, Stop Soldier Suicide, but what do they do to stop veteran suicide?
So they have a few different programs that they do. They provide one-on-one care for veterans is one thing. Advocacy is a huge part of it. And the other thing, they have this really cool project called the Black Box Project. And it's basically veterans that have committed suicide, their family members will send in their devices, cell phones, tablets, and they study them to try and find out if there's any patterns amongst people who have committed suicide.
Wow.
And the goal then is to actually find those patterns so that you can spot it ahead of time. Because that's the whole thing, suicide is 100% preventable, but you have to catch them in time and get them the help that they need.
That's incredible. And I love causes that are so hands-on like that. They're not just saying, hey, this is what we do, and all this money is going to maybe people behind the scenes, right? This is going to real research, and I'm very impressed with that organization. That's incredible to know.
Yeah, they were just actually awarded by the VA a grant specifically for the Black Box Project.
Wow.
The VA put out a contest because they realized this problem is too huge just for the Veterans Administration to handle. So it was put out to independent organizations, and Stop Soldier Suicide came in first prize, and it was awarded the grant.
Well, good, because we have to do something. People have to put their money where their mouth is, if you will, and we can't just say something. We have to do something about it. So I'm really impressed with you all for partnering together and doing this. Do you have any words of advice before I let you go of other ways, if people can't donate monetarily, other ways they can show our veterans support during this time?
I think just kind of talking about and getting the word out, letting veterans know that they're not alone and that we appreciate what they did. Go by your local American Legion. They actually do a lot of good in the community. It's not what the stigma sometimes are around them. And they do a lot to help veterans and get them the help that they need.
That's fantastic. Well, I know a lot of people are going to be excited for this event. They're excited to give back. Can you just remind us one more time how they can get involved, and the when and the where of this fundraiser?
Yep, so it's January 20th in Ocean City. We're going to start at Post 166 right on 23rd Street. And they can visit our website, alamd166.org.
Perfect. And we'll link your website to our website. So you can also head to coastlife.com if you need that again, and you can learn all the information there. This is maybe a weird question, but do they have to bring their own putter?
No, we provide the putters and the balls. So
I was thinking how I'm going to play, and I'm like, wait, I don't have any golf clubs. Good to know. Amazing. Well, Emily, thank you so much for being here and for what you do every day.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. Well, hey, you guys, you can, again, go on those websites right now, learn more about this event, and sign up. Please, please, please sign up. It's such an amazing event. You can do all of that right now. We are taking a quick break. All right, everybody, it is this time of year. We're not even talking about the holiday season. Nope. I'm not talking about playoffs coming up. Nope. We're talking about awards.
That's right.
That's right. And there's a lot of awards you got to keep track of. The Golden Globes, the Oscars, the Emmys, the this, the that, the that. I know, it's a lot. So to break it all down for us and the most recent nominations that came out, we have our friend Rob Rector back with us. Rob, so happy to have you.
I would like to accept this on behalf of. It's not
Sorry,
for me.
no.
I'm too excited.
We don't have a Golden Globe for you.
Darn it.
We'll
Okay.
work on that.
I think we could probably get one.
I think so. If we were passing an award out for one of our favorite guests, though, you would be nominated.
Very true.
Yes.
Color me blush. Color me
See what
blush.
we did
Thank you.
there?
That was nice. That was good.
Well, something that has been the talk recently is the Golden Globe nominations that came out. I know myself looking at the list, I feel like it's all over the place. You have these dark movies and Barbie and everything mixed all together. So just break it down for us. First of all,
Yes.
what are the Golden Globes?
So it is Barbenheimer all over again, just to put that to rest. So yes, we're not done with that yet. But yeah, the Golden Globes is a little bit of a hiatus. They are back now. They didn't air last year. They've kind of revamped it. They've made a few tweaks and changes, and hopefully it's on a new. It's on CBS. It used to be hosted on NBC, and a little bit of a different, wider categories. So they are hoping to kind of put some of the past controversies behind them and move ahead. And it really is the kind of the barometer for the awards season, as it were. So a lot of the other film critics associations will be releasing their top 10s coming up. But this is kind of seen to be the purveyor of what the Oscars could look like.
Sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
It just sets the bar, and then you expect it to ramp up until this airs January 8th, and then Oscars. So this will air before even the Oscars are announced.
Right.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So do you have any movies that you've seen, or I guess I should say actors as well, because there's all the different categories.
Yeah.
Just kind of starting off, are there any that you think, yes, they need to be on there, but also that you think, why was this nominated?
So there are a few of them that are on here that I think are deserved for one reason or another. Sure. Some omissions, and there are some more than anything, and we'll get into it. But the categorization of them, I'm perplexed as to how they ended up in that particular area.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we'll leave that there until we get to the specific categories. But it's a pretty safe bet. I mean, you can all the class photo. All the students showed up to the class photo.
Gotcha.
So
That's a nice way of saying it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What movies have you seen recently that you are happy are on the list that you think deserve to be on that list? I know we were talking about some of the ones that just came out.
Right. So Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese's latest. It was definitely deserved of the awards that it received. I'm excited to see who lands actual the awards out of that one. And then Barbie and Oppenheimer, we've talked about that before. I think both of them do deserve to be on this list as well too. Just recently saw Poor Things with Emma Stone. I think that is deserved. There are several other Anatomy of a Fall. These are smaller films, but I think that it's going to help them to push them out and to market them to a larger audience, because we have several foreign language films that probably would have gone unseen, and now at least get that little promotional push by being nominated in one of the categories that they have. So
I guess maybe we should dive into some of those categories.
Yeah,
some of the ones that are confusing, maybe where some of these films ended up.
Yeah. I would say the one addition to the list this year is the a special one called Cinematic Achievement, I think it is, or Cinematic and Box Office Achievement.
Ah.
Isn't that just like a numbers?
Most popular. Right. So that's exactly what I think. Like, you think of that meme that you see with John Hamm from Mad Men saying, that's what we pay you for.
Yeah.
Like, that's what box office is about. Like, so the cutoff, and it's this real kind of obscure wording to it, but it says that it has to be over 150 million that it made in the box office. 100 million has to come from the United States, and it has to have some sort of artistic merit from their own judging committee. I mean, it's just this real kind of obtuse language. So, it is one of these where it is a popularity contest, and you know who's going to be there just based on their box office returns. So, I think this one is there to definitely fill seats and to try to lure in the celebrities so that they can raise the stakes in the when they air it. But yeah, it's one of those, and I think there's like 10 films nominated for there, so it's like everyone gets a trophy, you know?
Rob, I feel the same way you do about this. I think you go in expecting the Barbenheimer reboot, if you will, and I was shocked at first going through. I'm like, there's no Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So definitely want to dive more into this. This is a lot of fun. I love picking your brain about this too. So let's just take a really quick break. We're going to get more into the categories and Rob's hot takes when we come back. We are back with our wonderful friend Rob Rector, and the conversation was getting a little spicy as we wrapped up last, and we talked a bit during the commercial break. You have some hot takes on these categories, which I think I agree with you, but let's get into it. We were talking about how some categories, the movies in them don't really fit.
Yeah. So one of the things that we were saying, how they are very inclusionary and they open it up to a lot of different films. I think sometimes they actually misplace them, especially this year. There is a film called May December, which stars Julianne Moore, Natalie Portman. It's based loosely on actual events of a middle school teacher who had an affair with her student, ended up having that student's children, and they married after she was released from prison for serving time, right? Not a lot funny about that.
No, not a very uplifting story.
No, and no like musical breakout numbers, right? But yet, here it is in May December, the film which it is based, is been placed into the comedy or musical category, which is just utterly perplexing. I have no idea what that means.
Could you name some other movies in that category so we can compare the storylines? Okay, Barbie
that makes sense.
And a child predator.
It is.
Yeah.
Barbie is both comedic and includes a musical number.
That's exactly it. That's the one thing. But here's another thing. We have a film this year that's going to be released that is a flat-out musical.
Yes.
It is based on Color Purple, the musical on Broadway.
Yep.
And that was completely left out of the category altogether. Now, there's a couple nods here and there for some of the actresses, Fantasia Barrino, but by and large, it is overlooked altogether in there. And yet, May December ends up in comedy.
Why do you think it wasn't in the drama category?
I think maybe they had too many that they had in there, so maybe they pushed something over because they wanted to make sure that they had, because it's a powerhouse. You've got Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore, two stalwarts of cinema, and it's a chance to still get them into the audience. Animation is another one too. They left out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which I know it sounds like, why would that be on there?
That one did really well. Everything I heard, that people who saw the Ninja Turtles loved it.
It was really well written. It was really well done, and yet Wish, which was by Disney, which didn't do well in the box office or critically, and yet that's still on the list too. So, and Super Mario Brothers the movie, which again, box office hit, could be in that one box office list.
Sure.
But it wasn't the best of the year when you're talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, right? And then you've got all these other films there that and the most recent one, The Boy and the Heron, which is
I haven't
taken.
seen that one yet.
And it is
Got
beautiful.
your boy Rob Pattinson. He's his voice actor.
That is my boy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Twilight.
He's not playing a melodious voice by any means.
He's not a vampire. He's not the heron that has teeth.
That's fine. That's fine. Can I ask you some? These aren't not as hot takes, but these are just my feelings, and I'll see if you agree with them. Ryan Gosling, nominated for one of the best actors. Do you agree for Barbie? Do you agree or do you disagree?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I think he is deserved in there, and I think there's a good solid group in that category. So even if it is Ryan Gosling who takes it in there, I wouldn't be disappointed by any of the entrants they have in that. The only thing, again, talking about Golden Globes, the only thing that I feel was missing was America Ferrera was not nominated, and she gave perhaps one.
She had the big monologue.
The best parts of that film, delivering that iconic monologue in there, and she was left out altogether.
Doing our girl America dirty.
I know. So again, that was another overlook, I think. But that said, it still should be entertaining to see exactly how they come back in their new stage in this new form and see if they things right.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I could pick your brain all day, Rob. Thank you so much for coming in. I wish we could go through every single nomination if we had time, but we'll just have you back here.
Sounds good.
When we find out about the winners. Awesome.
I'll do it.
All right, you guys, we have more Coast Life to get to. I hope you had fun with Rob today. Let us know your hot takes on the Golden Globe nominations. You can do that right now. We'll take a break and be right back.
Not Too Shabby in Milford is your one-stop shop for all your holiday finds.
So we're a full-service florist and an artisan gallery. Being a full-service florist, we do flowers for all occasions. And then we host local artisans to have a space to sell their creatives.
And one of those creatives is none other than Coffee from Coffee Rendezbrew.
You're watching Coast Life, and today we are at Not Too Shabby in Milford. And of course, I have a very familiar face with me, Miss Wanda Guyton. How are you, Miss Wanda?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. So you've been selling your coffee here for a while now.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience with Not Too Shabby and how your sales are doing.
Oh, wow. My experience with Not Too Shabby has been absolutely amazing.
Nice.
The owners here are great. Don and William, I couldn't ask for a better partnership within this industry. They help out a lot, with not just me, but with other small businesses. And they've been an important piece in promoting Coffee Rendezbrew, and I think a lot of people have come to love Coffee Rendezbrew, specifically Southern Showdown, because that's Don's favorite coffee.
He did say it was his favorite. He was adamant about that.
Yep. And so I've just gotten a lot of recognition from being here in the store in Milford.
Perfect. So what would you say is your favorite coffee mix, coffee item as of right now?
Oh, I'll have to definitely go with our Sugar Plum Jubilee. It's a flambéed brandy over dried apricot with a sweet finish. It's absolutely delicious.
Nice. And what would you pair your Sugar Plum Jubilee? What would you pair it with?
Well, right now I'm pairing it with Harrington Holmes Vanilla Extract. This is a homemade extract which is really, really good. Yes. And without creating any type of special recipe, I can just grab some Sugar Plum Jubilee, vanilla extract, pour it in the cup, and it's absolutely amazing.
Hey, and you also sell other accessories and stuff. You have some cups over here.
Yep.
Tell us about kind of stuff people can put in their stockings or even have as a great gift this holiday.
Well, we can start with the coffee, some vanilla extract. We have some beautiful cups here from Farm Boy cups. Little items like Life Begins After Coffee. These pair well with stocking stuffers. And if you look around the shop, just a lot of little things would complement Coffee Rendezbrew.
Hey, all right. So how can people reach you if they are interested in coffee? I'm a big coffee drinker. So if I was a person who did not know you or your company, how could they get in touch with you?
Well, they can start by going to my website, coffeerendezbrew.com. They can visit the website and get information about the different locations that we're in, one being our new location in Tanger Outlet at the Surfside location, and then here at Not Too Shabby, 614 Northwest Front Street in Milford.
So there's a lot of places for you to go to, so you can't really miss out. So thank you so much, Ms. Wanda, for having this interview with us.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
All right, guys, we have so much more fun coming up right after the break.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Coffee Rendezbrew.
You're watching Coast Life, and maybe you've got a local surfer on your Christmas list this year, or maybe you're just a local who loves all that Ocean City has to offer, which is a ton. And if you do, a good place to check out this holiday season, but especially any time of the year, is K-Coast Surf Shop in Ocean City. I'm here with Chris Shanahan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for coming to the shop today and checking out what we have.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how vast and expansive inside this store is. So introduce our viewers a little bit to the store. What do you guys have? What do you offer locals and visitors alike?
Okay, well, we've been in business for 35 years, believe it or not.
Wow.
And we built this building probably over 18 years ago into a very comprehensive surf shop for Ocean City. And as we were explaining before, it's actually split up into 3 different shops. It's got the women's and accessory stores downstairs. We've got a men's area and wetsuit area over there. And this area we're standing in is really the surf shop.
Sure.
We are open year-round, and especially during the holiday season, we ramp up our inventory and our hours in order to serve our local and visitors customer base.
Nice. I mean, 35 years, you guys got to be doing something right.
We work hard. We try to listen to the customers as far as what they want to buy in our store, and we try to keep our prices reasonable.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like surfing is one of those hobbies that can be a little bit intimidating to get into at first. There's a lot of equipment necessarily, or just maybe some things that maybe you don't know, and some skill involved in learning how to do it. But you guys kind of help build people from the ground up.
There's definitely a learning curve.
Yeah.
We do offer surf lessons here through Brian Stairs Wave Riding School, and they teach anybody from 4 or 5 years old up to in their 70s. The only thing we require is they have to know how to swim. That's pretty much it. Yep.
That's a good basic requirement.
Yep. and so we try to get people on the right equipment, and that helps their experience, because a lot of people will start surfing and they'll get on the wrong equipment and they'll figure it's just too hard for them, when it really isn't. They just have to kind of walk before you can run.
Good to know, good to know. I've always wanted to try surfing, but I never have, so maybe I'll have to get in on those lessons sometime.
That'd be a good segment for next time you guys come by.
And you mentioned that you guys are open all year round.
Correct.
What do your hours look like for people who are maybe looking to do what could be considered some last minute holiday shopping?
Well, obviously on the weekends we're open a little bit later. We open at 10 o'clock, and on the weekends we'll typically close around 7:30 or 8 o'clock. But during the week we're open from 10 to 6.
Yes. And so for people who maybe have the exact thing in mind for the perfect gift for the perfect person on their list, there's plenty of them for obviously to look around and buy. But you also have gift cards too for maybe people who know they've got a surfer but maybe don't know what to get.
That's right. We sell a lot of gift cards in the store and online, quite honestly. And so we try to be very up to date and on the knowledge of the products. And our staff is very interactive. They're not pushy, they're not on commission or anything. They just want to help you find what you're looking for.
That's great, I love that. You mentioned too that there are actually winter surfing lessons offered. Is that common? Is that a thing that a lot of people want to check out, or is it more like they do it just to do it?
Believe it or not, there's a big contingent of people that surf year round in this town. Actually, yesterday there was surf, and so quite a few people were out there surfing. But wintertime lessons, a lot of times it's a bucket list item for somebody who wants to put on all the wetsuit stuff, because we've got gloves and boots and a hood you got to wear in order to survive out there. And there's other actually families that come by with their kids who kind of do summertime surf lessons as well, that want to get a few waves in before it just gets way too cold, January and February. In addition to this incredible retail experience we have here, we have a restaurant downstairs called Shoddy's that's open year round as well. And quite honestly, I'm not saying this just because it's in our store, but it's probably one of the top 5 restaurants in town as far as popularity.
It's got a good local vibe.
It's got a great local vibe. He just opened one in West Ocean City as well. Mentioned in West Ocean City, we also have an outlet in West Ocean City. We have a K-Coast outlet where we send a lot of product that maybe it's had its lifetime here. We send it over there to actually sell at a big discount. We also have another store we opened 3 years ago in Cape Charles, Virginia, right by the Bay Bridge Tunnel, which is a very quaint little town on the Chesapeake Bay, that if you're ever down there, that's a nice spot to check out as well.
Yeah, so a couple different places to check out K-Coast Surf Shop.
Yep, we like to spread it around. We have a Midtown location that's closed right now, but this is our main store, open year round, and we're very fortunate to be here and have the support of the community, and we never take it for granted.
Awesome. Yeah, well, a great local icon, I could say.
I hope so.
Hey, for 35 years, I think that's how you approach icon status.
We're definitely getting the longevity out of it for sure. There's been a few other shops that have risen and fallen, but there's a great local surfer shop community here, and we get along with all the other shops in town, which is good.
That's awesome. Yeah, you love to see it. Well, Chris, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming to shop. Really appreciate having you guys.
Of course, anytime. So as you can see, whether you've got a surfer or maybe a want-to-be surfer on your hands, this is the place to be. Don't go anywhere though, because there's more Coast Life coming your way.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Ocean City Tourism.
Leah, you and I recently both took week-long vacations.
That's right.
To the tropics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect this time of year
We
when you just
deserved
need to get away from a little bit of that chill.
Yes.
Exactly. But they say that the happiest workers take 15 days of PTO a year. That's 3 weeks.
So I agree, but I also want to get more information, because I'm taking PTO, but sometimes it's not for vacation, and it's scattered here and there. Do you know what I mean? It's for an appointment or a this or a that.
And I actually wouldn't be surprised if it's 15 days of PTO and if 2 of those weeks are staycations, because honestly, if all 3 of those weeks are vacations, you need your travel day, which cuts down like one of your days, your travel day back. So you've got 2 of those if you're flying, even if you're driving far. Like if you're going somewhere, those days are usually, they're stressful, you lose a day, you got to come back to work tired. Like so I've started, I'm like, in my youth, I used to be able to like go to a concert on a Tuesday night, and then I would roll into work at 4 a.m. the next day and be like, I'm here, I'm ready. Like,
how did we do that back in the day?
Right? Like, and it is the hard cutoff is your late 20s, and then you're like, you know what? I like my weekends for sleep.
If I'm not in bed by 7, I am like, oh, it's gonna hurt the next day.
But yeah, I used to go to midnight showings, concerts, and then roll in the next day, like for the morning shift, and I'd be like, I'm ready, let's go. And I think like the delirium was enough to carry me through.
Yep. And then you take those were the best naps.
Best naps.
The best naps were after work the next day.
So yeah, I think like probably some of those are staycations, just because like they're a little bit like you just need that mental health break sometimes, and I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, good for you if you're taking 3 weeks of vacation each year. Nice.
I'm jealous, but
I could see why you're so happy.
Let us know where you're going.
Yeah, I say that, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably taking 3 weeks.
I don't know that I did that this year, but I do think last year I took 3 weeks.
Let's take 3 weeks this year.
Let's do it.
Yeah, baby. We won't take them just yet, though. We'll be back for the rest of this week.
That's right.
Hopefully.
But for now, it is time for us to get out of here. We will toss things over to our friends. Coast TV News at 5 takes it from here.